Do you want to start the game again?
Welcome back to Mystical Everyday Heroes, or Meh, the Dungeons and Dragons podcast about people who are not mystical nor heroic, just everyday folks hugging trees and breaking wind. Joining us, we have Jake Salisbury playing the slack-jawed social butterfly, Meryl Cheep.
And we're back. Hello, everybody. Oh, God, it's just so great to be here, as always. Well, for Meryl's everyday fact today, he figured that he would share his favorite genre of music with everyone because he is a bard, after all. So he likes to be versatile in his listening tastes. He'll listen to any kind of music. He can play several different instruments, but the kind that is the closest to his heart is punk rock.
Yeah, girl.
He loves some Dear Maria, Count Me In.
Oh, God, yes.
Some like All Time Low, you know what I mean?
I love that you know All Time Low. I saw them live and they're amazing.
Yes. Oh, and he loves let's see.
Some Mayday Parade.
Like
Please tell me some Mayday Parade.
Yeah, Welcome to the Black Parade. Yes. Yes. And
Like
so he can
Some of the cats.
Yeah. Oh, the classics as well, of course. Yeah. Blink 182 is all Panic at the Disco.
Green Bay.
Green
Bay.
Bay.
Yeah. All those bands are canonically in this universe. Yes.
Yeah.
They're just like groups of bars.
So if you hear from the distance the beginning of Welcome to the Black Parade being plucked out on a lyre or sensually swayed on the viol, you know that's probably Meryl. That's his roots.
When he does that, his feathers definitely go up into a mohawk.
Yeah, he has a little feather mohawk
Like
that
a
he kind of
cockatoo?
spikes up. Yes. He dated a cockatoo once. It was crazy. Anyway.
Oh.
Wild. We also have Kailyn Kroll playing the Facing the World Feet First halfling barbarian Stan Smallman.
That's me. I love that. Feet
Aw.
first.
Feet first. Face and feet first.
Makes me sound really brave. I like that.
It also makes you sound like you were birthed breech a little bit.
Ah, yeah.
Like you came
They
in
pulled
feet
me out by
first,
the toes.
and you immediately bit
All
the
11 of
ankle
them.
of the doctor.
Absolutely. Well, they were a little bit concerned because I had an extra one. They didn't know what was going on.
And you had a full set of teeth. Ew.
Can you imagine? I was born with a full set of chompers, just ready to go.
I can't imagine
and
that
11
actually.
toes.
Yeah.
Your mom
I mean,
must
I
have
was
been
a
so
medical
proud.
mystery, really. Well, anyway, Stan's fact for the day, other than all of that, is that he has always wondered what it would be like to be a dad.
Aww.
But he doesn't often share that with people because it kind of sounds ridiculous because he looks and acts like a child himself. But he's always wondered what it
Listen,
would like
we're
to be a
just
dad.
children
He's
having
very
children of our
wise,
own,
though.
That's fair.
He is kind of fatherly towards Meryl a little bit
It's true.
because Meryl needs it
Love you, Dad.
a little
And
bit.
TJ.
He says, "Love you, Dad." That's funny. Anyway,
Daddy issues.
Daddy
it's okay.
issues. Yeah. It's my new album. That's my new punk rock album.
Oh, nice.
you can't do that, Demi Lovato.
Arterial
You're dead.
spray.
True.
Very cute. We also have Matt Rail as the breaker of Windbreaker traditions, Elf Ranger Alfonso.
I liked that. Who wrote that? Good job.
Yeah, that was good.
That was me. That was Stephie.
Wow,
Good job,
that's so
Stephie.
clever.
That was
So
good.
clever. So Alfonso's fun fact today, just kind of in light of the events that happened last episode. Yeah. that
Easy
was
for
good.
you to say, Fonz.
Don't cut that.
So I'm
don't.
going to speak in Elven. Blah, blah, blah.
Blah, 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 blah.
I understood exactly
Yeah,
what you're
thank
saying.
you. So in light of what happened last episode, and Alfonso was like just kind of reflecting a little bit about like childhood and growing up, and one of his like best memories in that castle is what he wants to share today. Basically, it was there was one time when his dad was like super proud of him. And it was shortly after he finished making his bow, and they were target practicing. And his dad actually made something of like he didn't say "I love you," but it was more of like "I'm really proud of you, son" kind of moment.
Aww.
Aww.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. So they were out there just because it's being a ranger in a wood elf society. The bonding over the target practicing was really important to them.
Aw.
Yep.
It's beautiful. This is like our Father's Day episode for some reason.
Yeah.
Wow.
Go dads.
Go dads who are emotionally stunted.
Yeah.
We also have Stephie Patterson playing the shoe stripper, half-elf druid Misphi.
Ooh, I love that one.
Stripper.
Speaking of fathers, backstory on Greta.
That is
So,
not what I expected
Greta-
to say.
Misphi actually, when she was younger, she would actually go over to Greta's house and help her with her garden and bake cookies and stuff. She was basically her grandmother. But over the years, Greta has, she's lost her marbles pretty much, her memories, and why she requires Misphi to bring her cookies before she'll hang out with her is because Mr. Greta,
Mr. Greta.
which passed a few years ago, actually, when he came home from a hunting expedition, would bring her favorite cookies from a bakery.
He'd hunt him down. That's my kind of hunting.
Yeah.
Going
But
after
Greta,
cookies?
Yeah.
she doesn't remember that. She doesn't know why she requires the cookies from Misphi, but deep in her mind, it's because of Mr. Greta.
Oh,
Because he always brought her cookies.
warm memories of Mr. Greta.
Greta loves cookies. More cookies.
I miss her. I love Greta.
Yep.
We also have Matt Boston as our sound producer, Corey Patterson as our community manager, and me, Brandy Boston, as the Empress of this fine podcast, among other things, doing the voice of human fighter TJ Town Justice.
Twiggity twiggity.
Let's talk about what happened last episode in Loreland. Alfonzo found himself in a stone circular room facing a stern elven woman named Gladys. His weapons had also been taken, and as he began trying to find them, his cousin came in. Fabio was flanked by two women who sang his name, and he emptied a pouch of butterflies into his face. Fabio disclosed that he was now the heir to the throne and added in a dig that Alfonso's hair looked like his graduation picture.
That punk.
Meanwhile, Misphi, TJ, Stan, and Meryl were dropped in the woods in front of a magical barrier of Aerith. After hugging a few trees, the woods opened and they were greeted with arrows pointing at them. Once they were forced into quietly walking to the carved wooden castle, Stan and Misphi with naked feet, the heroes met Siren, Alfonso's cousin and the chief of staff. He educated them on the 4G districts and their always listening network while keying them into the threat of an uprising to convert the castle district into the 5th G. While they were meeting Siren, Alfonso came face to face with once more with his parents, Elwyn and Lydia Windbreaker, the king and queen of Aerith. We discovered that the reason Alfonso was pushed away from the throne was because he refused to follow his father's orders to take the children from the Crick Elves and bring them to Aerith for proper education. And that's where we are now.
Wow, I'm scared that the final boss is going to be Steve Jobs or Elon Musk.
So, so let's talk about the party is still divided at this point. And we are going to start in the general throne room with Meryl, Misphi, Stan, and TJ as they're talking with Siren. So Siren has just told you guys that there is kind of a plot to bring the castle district into this 5th district, basically creating a 5th district for the courts, calling it the Grand, making it part of the 4G network, making it into a 5G network. He trusts no one, but he only told this to Meryl because he rolled a high enough persuasion to trust him. So having given him that information, Meryl, what do you do?
Is he still in the room?
He's right in front of you. He had pulled you aside to tell you this information.
This is a horrible situation. Is there anything that we can do to help me and my friends?
Well,
because
for starters, you can kind of tell us why. You tell me why you're
What are
here.
we helping with?
can I tell them?
I was kind of hoping I could tell you so that you would keep it to your.
Why don't you tell us? That sounds right, Meryl?
Oh God, fine.
Okay, great. So then I explain everything you just said.
So look, as you can tell, Alfonso doesn't know what he's stepping into, and honestly, I don't know why you guys are here. What have you guys been doing? Look, I know things and I can help you, but you've got to get Alfonso out of here.
Can I see if we can trust him?
Roll insight. Say
12.
Okay. So with a 12, he's a half elf, or sorry, he's a wood elf. You're having kind of a hard time figuring out any of their motivations because they're a little bit culturally different from you in the way you were raised. So as far as you can tell, they're wood elves. They just kind of talk the way they talk, you know?
True that.
Okay.
True that. Well, we came to help Alfonso and probably bring him back with us. So, I mean, if we need to get Alfonso out of here, we can definitely do that. But we would hate to leave you guys in the middle of quite a pickle.
Well, that's great and fine and all, but back with you. Where exactly back are you going? What's your goals here?
Well, we're supposed to be meeting the Four. Have you heard of them?
Like you four? Is this another
No, like
cultural-
the four.
The four.
We have been mistaken for them in the past.
Yes,
Like the
especially me. I'm very
4G?
muscular.
There's a lot of fours running around. Can you please give me more information? I need more specifics than you naming a number.
Well, the four heroes of old. Of old. The four heroes of old.
He's looking at Misphi, and once again in Elvish, he says, are they talking to themselves in the third person?
No. We're talking about like they're like famous adventurers that gone missing.
Yeah, many, many years ago. But we've heard that they might be around, or that if we found them, they could help us complete our quest.
Can you, I know a lot of people in a lot of places. I know the underground of things. I'm the chief of staff. That's kind of my thing. Can you describe them to me?
Have you ever met anyone who looks like me?
No.
Oh, damn it.
Sorry.
Do you remember Bart? Bart Smith.
I'm sorry.
Bart Smith.
Bless you.
Thank you. And there was Lily Sharptooth.
Lily Sharptooth.
And
That sounds like it could be kind of naturals. That's very typical for like elven style names.
I'm assuming he doesn't know.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Okay, never mind that. We're
That's
only
3.
joking. Ha
How
ha.
many?
well, there was also Farman Featherblade.
Yes.
And Aerith Moore.
Aerith Moore, yeah.
Aerith, like the city we're in? Aerith?
No. That's the guy's name.
Wait a
He's
minute.
named after our city?
Or is...
He was a high elf rogue,
A high elf.
so maybe you'd know him.
I mean, I know. He kind of looks around again. I mean, I know a high elf, but he's, he's around, but it's kind of like a
He's high.
hush.
Hi, Gora.
Well, no, he's a high elf who hangs low, and we don't.
Does he sway to and fro?
Can you tie him in a knot?
Or in a bow.
He's so confused. Talking with you guys, thinking this is some sort of a weird cultural divide, and not realizing this is just you guys being weird.
So, I mean, it is. To be
He's
fair.
like, I gotta tell you, the idea that you're talking about violence against my friend is not
No.
comforting.
Sorry.
No.
Joke.
Why
Hand in the
is your
air.
hand in
Hand in the air.
okay.
Joke.
Your hand is higher than your head. I don't understand the gravity there.
Well, do you know where this high elf is?
I might.
Do you think we could talk to him?
You might.
Great.
Is it you?
Are you our
Ig-
high elf?
He squints his eyes at you. Like, he's gonna roll an insight to see if you've...
He's squinting.
He rolled a 3, so he's just like, I am a wood elf.
So not high then.
No. And then he takes from his pouch like one of those little nuggets that he threw to Stan, and he puts it in his mouth. And he's like, not yet. Can I talk to you guys about this? Look, this
Stan,
isn't
we're
maybe
drugged.
the moment to talk. And as he's starting to kind of
Good thing
stumble
you
through
rolled
this,
high on that
the
Constitution check.
doors near the thrones fly open, and you see this very regally dressed 2 other wood elves, a man and a woman, and immediately behind him is Alfonso.
Alfonso!
We told you he was here.
My friends!
And Siren kind of clears his throat. Freaking Alfonso!
Siren, oh my gosh, I didn't recognize you at first.
I look the same as
You were facing the other way. It's fine. Hey, how have you been? It's been a couple years.
You were facing the other way. It's crazy. I love that. Sorry, you were turned around.
And he, realizing that he's talking to the son of the king and queen and like the king and the queen are present, he shakes it off and he stands and very formally he turns to the king and queen and bows deeply. And then he cuts his eyes at you guys and is like, bow to the royals of our court,
Ooh,
the king and queen.
I bow real low.
Stand as a curtsy.
TJ lays down on the floor, face first,
Misphi does the same thing,
and
but
he
it's
says,
like in TJ's butt.
they just like lay in a train.
Guys, it's okay. You can get off the floor. It's okay.
And your parents kind of cock their heads, and your mom's like, actually, I'm very curious to see what sort of situation this is. Would you like to explain why there is a half-elf and a human interlocked in such a manner? Is this normal?
Yeah, it's totally fine.
Ma'am, when a lady and a lord love each
excuse
other
me.
very much.
You will refer to me as your highness.
Your high.
We are so sorry, Your
he's the
Highness.
high elf.
It is.
No. What elf? And no one's high.
It is incredible to meet you, Your
Well,
Highnesses.
if you're not high yet.
Misphi.
Elwyn, the king, grabs a sword at his waist and pulls it and aims it at Misphi.
Oh, we are.
Alfonso grabs his hand and says, "Father, it's okay. We can talk this out."
Roll a opposing strength check.
+1, so 17.
17. Let me see.
Yes.
Okay, he got a 15. So you successfully shove his hand down, and he bristles at the contact and says, "You will mind your tongue in front of the king and queen of these courts, or you will find yourself no longer welcome in Aerith or any plane of existence. Is that clear?"
Your Highness,
What'd
I'm
you do?
raising my hand because I want to speak.
And he kind of uncertainly looks at Alfonso.
It's
Is this
fine.
a threat?
No threat. She just wants to talk. That's the way that we share when we want to take turns talking.
Excuse me, you are grouping yourselves in
Yes.
with these
Aww.
people.
With pleasure.
Meryl starts crying.
Fonz, I didn't know you loved us.
Alfonso, I missed you.
TJ's like, I knew it, you guys. I knew his hair wasn't right. I could feel it. I could feel it in my soul. Alfonso, it's okay. I've got a brush somewhere. I'm sure
He
we
was
can
really
make
worried
this
about your
okay.
hair, Fonz.
We'll
figure
get
out-
through this.
That's fine.
And so Elwyn looks at you and says, "You are granted permission to speak momentarily. Please use your time wisely before my patience runs out."
I apologize earlier, Your Highness. I usually make jokes because I'm nervous, so I apologize.
He takes his sword and sheathes it back and says, "Be aware that while I may spare you, that nervousness may get you killed by members of the court. Friendly word of warning."
Oh.
Misphi nods her head.
And he casts an eye at Alfonso like, "Watch this one."
Alfonso looks at the group and just rolls his eyes ugh.
Welcome back.
Yeah.
So as you guys are standing there in front of the king and queen, you see Siren, who is the chief of staff, and you see the king and the queen, and Alfonso there. And you see Lydia, his mom, kind of smile like the way that a host will smile, if they're trying to calm everybody down. And she says, "Now, I believe we said that we were going to take Alfonso and put him into his quarters where you can join him away from prying eyes, as this is a most unfortunate time as we are going to have guests over, and not that we would ever deem to pull you away from guests." But and she eyes Stan's toes and she says, "Oh dear.
What? These are the life of the party. You're missing out.
Yes, there are 6.
Well,
Why are there 6?
11. 6 on one foot, 5 on the other.
Oh boy.
Don't count the other ones out
Wow,
just because they're
Stan can
normal.
do math.
I know. It's a big deal. I've learned a lot on our missions, guys.
I see. However, we are in a precarious time where when we must greet guests, you must understand that we are held to certain expectations. So if you would simply follow Alfonso, Siren, would you be so kind as to escort Alfonso and his compatriots? And before she gets that out, you hear Elwyn clear his throat and put his hand softly on her arm, but in a very commanding way, like he's taking back control of the situation.
Ooh.
And says, actually, I believe an accord has been met. Has it not, son? There was an agreement.
This is true.
So if we would actually bring in the members of a few of the court.
Wow. You'd let them see my toes?
Damn.
I'm sorry. I just got excited. Usually I don't get to show them off.
Siren, if you would please escort these few onto the outskirts, preferably behind the privacy curtain. And you see that on the edges of the court, there are these like sheer dark curtains where people can like sit behind them if they don't want to be seen. It's usually reserved for people taking notes of court proceedings and things, like the commoners who have a job to do, but they're not really meant for being seen.
Is there a wizard behind there?
He completely ignores you, and Siren just grabs you kind of roughly and is just like, have you lost your mind? And he shoves you guys back in there. And as he shoves you in there, he takes a quick glance around and he pulls the curtain and he tucks his face in there and he's like, do you understand that you could die? Are you kidding me right now? Is this what they teach you outside of Aerith Walls? Have you lost your mind? They could kill you with a word. They are magicians. Oh. And he whips it closed. And he stands kind of like to the side, ready to like interrupt if you guys start making sounds.
Man, he is Siren, isn't he?
Yeah.
Sorry, your highnesses. I simply had a cough. And in front, you see that the king walks to the edge of, or walks to the very end of the throne room and knocks 3 times on the door, and then walks back to the throne, and he sits upon the throne. Your mother sits upon the throne. There is the 3rd throne there. What would you like to do?
I would like to. Am I getting the sense that like they're going to start the meeting soon?
Yes.
I think I'd like to stand next to the throne, but not sit down.
Ah, okay. As you do that, your mother looks sadly down at the throne, but like nods like you did the right thing. And very shortly, the 2 doors at the end of the throne room open, and a few members of the court walk in. There are 4 that walk in. One of them you recognize as Gladys of the Glade. She was the one who was in the stone room with you. And behind her is a long, gangly kind of guy.
Flat Stanley.
He kind of looks like
Not Flat
almost.
Stanley. Okay.
He's just long and gangly. Like you get the like he has that kind of twinkle in his eye. Like he's just like kind of there for a good time. But if you look closer, you recognize his eyes are a bit shifty. He's just like, but he just looks like he's there for a good time. And Alfonso, you recognize them. And then you see another woman who's a little bit. She's still slight in the high elf or in the wood elf way, but she's more hardened looking. She's more in practical clothing as opposed to the more flamboyant clothing of the other ones. And finally, you see a wood elf who doesn't really kind of strike you as either man nor woman, just kind of like somewhere fluid, androgynous in between. And this person is just like a little bit odd in a lot of ways. Just kind of like head tilted to the side continuously as he walks, and kind of just walks very stilted. As they go in, they bow as a group to the king and queen. And behind them stands, Siren walks up behind them and announces them. Your highnesses, Gladys of the Glade, Bonnie of the Gorge, Matthias of the Garden, and Francis of the Glen. And Lydia coughs a little bit, like clearly unhappy that these are the 4 that were picked. And Elwyn puts a hand delicately on hers and says, thank you, Siren. Would you please bring the 5 members of Alfonso's squadron that he chose to use to defy my orders? And there isn't a sound from any of the people who just walked in. And in fact, even like the sounds from the guards who are now standing at the end of this have just completely gone silent as just sheer shock of this even being acknowledged, because this was very much an unspoken but known thing. And so a few moments later, 5 people are brought in, and they are flanked along the outside of the room. So the people, you guys behind the curtain, they're essentially facing you guys, and you can see them very clearly. They look tall, they look proud, they look militant. And one of them looks more finely dressed than the others, with a lot more medals.
That must be the leader, guys.
And Alfonso, as you look at them, you recognize them as your members of your squad. However, the one who's dressed a lot better, Ryan Whispers, did not have quite as many medals the last time you saw him.
Alfonso is giving him like a dirty look, but quite silently.
Mm-hmm.
He definitely knows something's up, so he like kind of like a squint but stern, kind of a very like dissatisfied sort of look.
So Siren clears his throat once more, kind of feeling the awkwardness of the situation, and roll an insight check on the 5 that had just walked in.
19.
So with that, you see that the 4 of your comrades who were not as finely dressed stand decidedly apart from this one. They don't look at him. They don't acknowledge his presence. And you can tell, just because you've been in very intense situations with them, that there is an intense dislike of the situation and also of the person of Ryan Whispers. So Siren says, presenting Elvira Mossflower, Thaddeus Songbrook, Nymera Nightsong, Lauren Silvers, and General Ryan Whispers. And this is the first time you've ever heard him referred to as a general.
Oh, girl.
So what do you do?
It's nice to see most of you again.
The 4 of them bow to you because, like, to them you're still royals.
Alfonso bows back with a very pleasant smile and sort of like a very approving look.
Yeah, Ryan nods his head slightly at you, a clear sign of your lost title. Elwyn looks at you and says, enough pleasantries. We are all here for a singular purpose. Now, please, Alfonso, share with the court what you need to say.
Alfonso, previously standing, is still standing, fixes his coat, kind of straightens a little bit, buffs his shoulders, takes a big breath, and says, ladies and gentlemen of the court.
Sorry.
Yeah. Let me have a few fine words with you. And kind of gives a stink eye to Ryan Whispers, the general. Of course, this is in his mind. He's not saying this out loud, but he's definitely thinking like in a very like attitude way. And he's like, I'm here to inform you of my successful mission to the Stone King. I've brought back success. We've now made contact. Things look good there. I'd also like to express my appreciation for the welcome party that I've received. I am now going to finish this up, and I will take my leave elsewhere.
Your father clears his throat and says, please express the relations between the Windbreaker royals exclusively and the Grimnar King.
We have successfully created a relationship with them between us and the Stone King Grimnar.
Gladys clears her throat and says, permission to speak, Your Highness. And then Elwyn nods and she says, the Kingdom of Aerith is so grateful that you have secured such a long-lasting relationship between the King of the High Gara Mountains and the Kingdom of Aerith. We, as a council and as a court, thank you for our lasting relationship.
The pleasure is mine.
And Elwyn clears his throat and glares at you and says, sadly, you seem to be mistaken, Gladys. Unfortunately, due to a mishap with diplomatic relations, it is not the kingdom of Aerith that our son has bridged this gap with. He has made relations with the king of the High Mountains and the Windbreaker family. Sadly, with that very important distinction, without the Windbreaker family, there will be no relations. It was a mere oversight of our son, as you can tell. We are sadly disappointed that that is in play, but without the Windbreakers, unfortunately, the Kingdom of Aerith will not have such diplomatic ties, you see. It's simply important to know going forward, you see. And Gladys looks at you and raises her eyebrows. Is this true, your Windbreaker ship?
Ship. Unfortunately, that may be the case.
It may be, so there's wiggle room.
It's a gray area.
A gray area.
Agraria.
And she smiles at Elwyn, and she's like, we elves have had a long life to dwell in the gray areas, so it is fine. Don't worry, Elwyn. We can overcome this small lapse of judgment from Alfonzo, as it seems that there is a gray area in your diplomatic ties to the king of the High Mountains. I'm sure that even without a Windbreaker potentially, eventually on the throne, we can still shore up those diplomatic relationships on our own, should the need ever arise, especially with only one Windbreaker currently as an heir to the throne. And your father glares at you, clearly having not gone the way that he wanted it to go. And so as this is kind of unfolding, you guys are behind the curtain. Is there anything that you guys want to see or do based on the interactions that you guys see?
Misphi just wants to listen.
Okay. TJ is kind of standing there and he's shifting a little bit and his boots are squeaking. And Siren isn't right there, so he's kind of like leaning in and he's just like, I don't really know what they're saying because I feel like, is this Elven? This seems like they're talking in Elven. And he looks at you.
So I tell him everything I know.
Okay. By the way, he was speaking in Elven. But as you're kind of like translating for the group, TJ is kind of like gasping at little things. And he's like, oh, so when Siren said that he wasn't like safe here, it doesn't seem like it's like a sword or something. Like it's just like words. So I think that's probably fine, right? Like that's not gonna hurt him.
Point of clarification, Alfonso does have his like weapons back by now, right? Because that was
Yes.
part of the deal?
Yes, that is correct.
Can I just, as Meryl is listening, he's kind of like, he's using his eagle eye.
Mm-hmm.
You couldn't see that, but it was
was very
really
eagerly,
impressive and
yeah.
very eagerly one of my eyes. Just my left one though.
My right one, not so much.
No.
Now he's going to get pink eye. Yeah, it was on the dirty mic.
Dirty Mike. Pink guy from the Dirty Mike. I love
It
that.
actually was funny because it was your right eye, but that's okay.
Right.
Can I just roll a
Like perception or something? Or
either I would say like a perception check just to see if there's like more going on under the surface in these conversations that we could understand from like body language and
Roll an insight check.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like to sense how much danger at this moment is in the room.
Yeah, and if anybody else would like to roll an insight check, go for it.
Okay.
11.
11.
I like
Okay.
to roll insight, especially on Gladys, like her body language specifically.
Okay.
15.
So like 11.
Yeah, Stan got a 5, so he's probably just going to hang back.
We're not very insightful.
Yeah, TJ didn't. I don't think TJ got pretty high either. So yeah, basically what you guys see, who got in the teens? Let's start there.
11.
11,
15.
15.
Oh wait, I got 11. So.
Okay, so for the two of you who got an 11, what you see first of all is you guys can obviously see that Ryan Whispers is definitely loyal to the king and the queen.
Can I just say Ryan Whispers is such a good drag name?
That was AI, 100%.
And it's
spelled
RH.
R-H-Y.
Exactly.
Of course it is.
Ryan Whispers.
Yeah, Ryan.
So good.
listeners.
Dead anyway.
So he is clearly loyal to the king and the queen. He is clearly distrusted by the other people in the squadron who used to serve under Alfonso. You see, as far as Gladys and the 4 others are concerned, there seems to be like some unity between the members of the court, but it's unclear for you guys as to who is loyal to whom. But you do see that there is a disconnect between the loyalties of the court and the loyalties of the king and queen.
Yeah.
Stephie, you got a 15. With that, you see that Bonnie of the Gorge, she's the other female who's in the lineup there. She was the one who is kind of like more salt of the earth people. You see that she, as this kind of back and forth with the kind of like the sly dealings and whispers and such is going on, you see that she is kind of shifting and spinning around like she really doesn't have time for this. And so you can kind of get the feel like she's probably not as involved with this. And you also see that Matthias, who was the one who kind of just looks like he's got kind of a chilled, devil-may-care, here for the party kind of vibe, that as you can kind of see from a side profile view, as this kind of like under-the-table dealings kind of conversation is happening, you see that even though his like kind of body language is pretty loose, you see him clench his fists behind him, almost as if he's like getting really frustrated about something that's happening. So that's what you guys see from behind the curtain. And so back in front of the curtain, we see Elwyn, Lydia, and we see Alfonso standing there as this is going back and forth. And suddenly from behind the like the entrance of the throne room again is thrown open, and you hear, "Hello, it's Fabio." And you hear the women behind him go, "Fabio!" And he takes a bird and releases it, and
I love him.
and his and the bird released, and then you hear Cersei cough from inside, and the bird gets startled and turns around and like poops on his shoulder and kind of pecks at his hair a little bit, and then flies out of the room. And he's like, "Ugh."
He's not very good at that, is he?
And you see Gladys just visibly like, "What?" And as he kind of walks in, and he kind of the girls behind him like start scrubbing at his shirt, and where the bird pooped on him, he's like, "Leave it, leave it, leave it." "Hello, court and royal family. It is I, Fabio." And the girls behind him say, "Fabio." And Elwyn says, "Yes, Fabio, we know you literally just walked in and announced yourself a moment ago. Please come in, Your Highness." And he walks in, saunters up, shakes his long mane of hair that in a little bit of it gets kind of stuck in the bird poop. And he comes and he very elegantly and flourishly waves his hand and bows into a very exquisite deep bow and says, "I see you left my throne open. Lovely." And as he goes to sit down, he flips his hair and hits you across the face with it as he sits down in the throne.
Alfonso knew this was coming, and prior to him doing that, draws his short sword and puts it across the throne and is like...
Are you trying to do this sneakily, or are you doing this fast? Roll a dexterity check.
Okay.
I'm going to roll an opposed dexterity here.
Not good. 8.
Yes, he did beat you there. So as you go to like slide it out, he takes his sword. He takes like a little dagger from his belt, sticks it in there, rips it out, and then as he does so, kind of rips a little bit of the fabric of your shirt, kind of like away, and says, "Ooh, that is not good. It is not good, Alfonso. You've always been like this since we grew up." And he's very close to you now, so you two are the only ones who hear this. But he says, "I always knew I was destined for the throne, and you can't handle that Fabio is the one who is taking over from you. The one with the better hair, the one with the better horse.
Wow.
So don't put your sword near me unless you want to die." Ha! And then he sits down very dramatically.
So, do you have time for a battle, DM?
I have time for whatever you want.
All right.
Hey guys, I think Fabio is threatening Alfonso.
Alfonso draws because he has two, draws the other sword and puts it at his neck and says, "If you ever threaten me again, it's over."
Okay.
Meryl is agape again, girl.
Mm-hmm.
Meryl loves this
As
show.
you do this,
Mm-hmm.
swords everywhere in the room are drawn.
Oh my God, I run out from behind the curtain. I think he needs our help.
I'm gonna need your help, guys. Alfonso can't let it slip. This is the reason why he can't become the king, but he's not gonna let Fabio become the king either.
Okay. You've just drawn your sword. You've put it at his neck.
Mm-hmm.
After he threatened you. You said, Meryl, that you were going to come out from behind the screen.
Yes.
Okay, just to give you guys a visual here, very quick, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Thrones, you got king, queen, and prince. Okay, so this is where Fabio is right now, okay? We're going to say that actually there were two girls that flanked him. So we're going to say they stand over here by the door whenever he's on the throne. There are always two guards by the door. You've got, these are the 4 members of court. These are the 5 members of his squadron, including Ryan. This is the screen where you guys are behind. Siren is over here announcing people. Okay. So, Meryl, you're going to come out, and what do you do?
I come out and I draw my fencing sword.
Okay.
And I say, Alfonso, we've got you.
All right.
All right.
The queen immediately stands up and says, "Now, honestly, children, this is ridiculous. Darling, please put the sword away. He's merely joking, Fabio, of course."
If he's joking, then let's fight 1-on-1.
Roll
I
a
put-
persuasion check.
Meryl
It needs to be to
slowly
15.
and awkwardly puts his sword back, but like keeps his hand on it.
Persuasion. So I got a 15.
Got a 15. As you say that, you see that Fabio gulps a little bit, and he says, "Well, of course. Well, of course, but this isn't strictly necessary. This is simply cousins, of course."
Then you apologize and renounce your intent for the throne.
He narrows his eyes and looks at you. "Now, why would I do that? I am Fabio."
Because if you don't, we're gonna fight.
And then he grabs his sword, inches his throat a little bit away from yours, pulls it up, and says, "Then by the rights of the throne, stand center and on guard."
All right.
Misphi is just bamboozled.
Bamboozled. Stan's been really confused this whole time because it's really dark behind the curtain, and so he's a little bit afraid. But he does peek his head out and see that something bad is going on. It's about as far as he is.
So Meryl has sheathed his fencing sword, and he comes back behind you and like rubs your shoulders a little bit, and he's like, all right, let's get in the ring. Let's
So now
make
this
this.
is my coach.
Let's
Is
figure.
Meryl is Alfonso's coach.
Stretch it out, Alfonso. We've got to make sure that this is a good one. We got to give them what they came for. We got to give them the performance that they paid for. All right, and also you can't die.
And also
You cannot die. We have more episodes, so
Right.
Misphi
yeah, I'm just
goes,
like giving him a pep talk.
Alfonso.
Yeah, see, there you go. They got your fans.
Oh yeah.
Now remember the old one too.
Alfonso looks over to you guys, gives you all a big wink. Like we're gonna
God,
do
he's
this.
gonna be okay. Look at his hair. TJ, where's the brush?
TJ immediately like pulls like a comb or something from his boot. He says, I have it. Just, for his dignity, do it away from everybody else.
But really,
They
it's
shouldn't
the
have to see
spine
this.
of a fish.
Well,
Alfonso's gonna
here's
die.
the deal about him.
No.
He has gone nowhere in life. Like he's never ventured outside of things.
Right. See, like that's where I was pretty confident. Like he has no military training. I've got like that. I know.
He's coasted completely on the tails of. He's like a celebrity's kid who has no ambition for himself.
Nepo baby.
Yes. So here's the deal, though. As so you guys see as the people are clearing out, kind of like clearing a circle in this throne room. The rug that was kind of laid out is rolled away, and it's almost more like a fighting ring now. It's a very drastic change. All of the people that had served under you are smirking now, like they've been waiting for this to happen, for somebody to put him in his place, but they had no authority to do it. And Fabio like whips off his very decorative cape and hands it off, like throws it at one of the girls and says, well, of course, we are here to fight. And that is what we shall do for the throne. Because after all, Aerith needs a leader to be on the throne. And he kind of looks over at your parents as though like one of them is going to step up and say something, and then they don't say anything, and then like he looks to Gladys, and Gladys just shakes her head like, "Why would you do this? Why would you put yourself in this situation, you idiot?"
Can Misphi's gonna come out from the curtain, from behind the curtains, and like join the circle, but like be like in the back, like sort of try not to be like noticed,
kind of out of sight.
Yeah, but I'm gonna keep an eye on Fabio and make sure he's not trying to cheat or anything.
Interesting.
Because
Okay.
I feel like he doesn't have any training, so I want to make sure he's like not trying to like.
Ooh, can I say that my pep talk for Alfonso gives him inspiration?
Yes,
what a good
absolutely.
idea.
Tell me what that. So you gave your pep talk though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did already. Because remember, he's my coach.
It's a D6.
Ooh, like an additional D6?
You
Like
can
a
add it to an
D6.
attack roll or a saving throw. And you can add it after you see your roll.
So you and I are going to roll initiative.
Roll initiative. 18 plus.
He got a 13, so you go first.
All right.
Cut his head off.
So-
He has his rapier out. That's
Okay, I'm going to do a series of things because I came ready to rock.
okay.
Okay,
By the
girl.
way,
Okay.
as you guys watch Alfonso, you notice something a little bit different about him. You guys, before he starts going, roll insight.
Ooh, I got a 21.
14.
I know him so well.
20. Dirty 20.
Okay, so seeing him now, something about having gone up, like facing his demons of going up against his father, has somehow changed him to look stronger, more sure of himself. And what you guys see from a distance is that somehow between the time that you left him and the time now, he's somehow leveled up in some way.
Ooh.
He's
So
like,
is this when my level up happens?
this is your
Oh,
level
perfect.
up. Yeah.
All right.
So we see him now as a level 3.
God, he looks good.
Yeah.
Wow, he's glowing.
He looks 3 times better than the last time I saw him.
As this happens, and you kind of like, you recognize it like your kind of claim for the throne because of this kingdom that you love so much. With this happening, Fabio sees you. I'm gonna roll insight from him. He got a 2. He doesn't really get anything that's happening because his hair is he keeps whipping his hair, thinking that that's gonna like drum up a little bit of excitement. Like he's more of an entertainer, you know. And he's just like, "Don't worry, I've got this. I'm going to win." And he flips his hair back and forth.
Yes,
and he's
girl.
like,
Poop on his hair, slaps him in the face.
Oh. Was there any psychic damage taken there? Because
No, no.
That's crazy,
This is
honestly.
honestly just Fabio. So he's just
Oh,
used
he's just
to
used
this.
to it?
Yeah, he's just used to this kind of level of like the universe. It's kind of cosmic energy at this point,
Tough,
you
yeah.
know? All right, so you rolled first for initiative. So what do you
so I'm going to use my bonus action first, and I'm going to cast Hunter's Mark.
do? Ooh, yeah. Okay.
So I will do, if I hit, we'll do an additional 1d6.
Okay.
I'm going to use the neck chain of Rising Chain and use advantage on my attack.
Wow. Okay.
Damn.
Wow, Fonz is not joking around
No.
today.
19.
Fabio's about to get
19
drop
hits.
kicked.
And then, so I'm going to do my damage, and I'm also going to use, because I'm a hunter, I can also take an additional attack. So I'll do this, and then
Holy God.
Wow.
Fonzo is like ready to rock.
Fabio
I
might be
wasn't
done in
joking.
one full sweep.
That
He
was
really
the-
might be.
That was the hope.
God, can you imagine? That'd be so incredible. I'm so excited.
You got trashed.
Okay, so, and I'm attacking with my short sword, by the way. And because it's,
Okay.
I have 2 of them, I can do one and then the other. So it's
Wow.
a 1d6 plus 4. So 6 plus 4 is 10.
You do 10 damage?
10 damage.
He's down.
All right, he's dead. Like,
Well, you choose.
Yeah.
Is he dead? Is he knocked out? Is he like hanging on by, like, what do you do? He's down to 0 hit points.
What happens to him? Tell us what happens
Yes.
to him.
So
Spin me a story.
All right. So Alfonso like casts the hunter's mark, draws both swords. Because they're only probably, 10 or 15 feet away, like they're close,
Yeah,
because we're like in a
very
circle.
close. Mm-hmm.
Basically takes the first sword, or like the first attack, full on, like, across the chest, like slashes, and then kicks him down, and he falls and he tumbles, and Alfonso says, "You're no leader, you can't stand up for yourself, Aerith deserves better. Even if I can't lead, it can't be you."
He says, I yield. Don't cut my hair. Don't cut my hair.
Cut his hair.
Cut his hair.
Literally, you
Alfonso?
guys are the only ones chanting in this entire room. People start turning around like, that's so undignified. Don't
Alfonso
chant.
takes two short swords. The first one is sort of in front of him, kind of like, I don't know, like a sword stance. His right foot is over his chest and it's at his neck. He takes the other sword, kind of spins, and then slices his braid off of his head.
Please tell me you then hold it up over your head.
Well, hang on a second. His hair was kind of free flowing. So,
Okay.
would you say it's kind of like yours, where it's like half braid, half down?
Yeah, so it's
Okay.
like,
Oh, you got
but it's
half
like
his hair
messy.
off.
Not like a clean cut, but like it is like chopped.
No.
Like it is like bad.
I'm fluffy. Well. And then the girls behind are like, Fabi. And then somewhere outside, a bird shits. I don't know.
Yeah, right.
Cersei.
Cersei shits on him. Oh my god, yeah. Cersei swoops down and takes a shit on him and then walks, like flies away back to your shoulder.
Alfonso looks at Cersei and just gives like the biggest smile and another wink.
Oh, I love the winks.
That's my girl.
Wow, he didn't even have a shot. That's beautiful. So as this happens, everybody is completely stunned, and your mother stands up and says, "So now we celebrate. A new heir to the throne is regained. Alfonso is home. Welcome home, son." And as she says this, you suddenly realize that you have made a public display of reclaiming the throne, which means that is your responsibility now to become heir of the throne. So what do you do?
I will accept the throne, but delayed. I have business that I must take care of first with my newfound friend adventurers, and I will return when our quest is complete.
You're
Friend
requesting a diversion.
adventures.
And as you say this, your father kind of pushes you behind him and says, "Yes, our son will travel on a diplomatic mission for the betterment of the realm on behalf of the Windbreakers and Aerith with his noble compatriots."
Wow.
We're noble.
Compatriots.
And as you say that, Siren comes up behind you, wraps his hand around your mouth, and said, "Shut it if you want your friend to live." And your dad's like, "So he will not be able to sit upon the throne near us at this time, for he has many emissary roles to complete as the heir to the throne. So while he has come back to give us a status report, we are proud to say he is still alive and well and carrying on the proud Windbreaker royal name. Thank you." And then your mother just starts bursting out into like golf claps, just like, "Yes, yay, wonderful, of course." And she like eyeballs all of the members of court like, "Clap."
Misphi goes, huzzah!
Yes, after you probably like, Siren's finally thought it was safe to put his hand down, and you're like, "Huzzah!" And he's like, "Damn it."
Alfonso looks at his dad, knowingly he's pissed. Knowing that, winks, does a little bit of a finger gun so no one else can see it but him. And then kind of like under his jacket almost. And he says, "Thank you, Father, for such a grand exit speech. If you don't mind, my friends and I would like to go continue our ambassadorship."
Of course, son. We will have to hold the feast that would have been thrown in your honor Sadly, however, as Siren will escort you out, if you require anything on your expedition, of course, you have the full funding and support of the Windbreaker name should you need it. And as he says that, it's very clear you should never need it.
Fonz, are you sure you want to leave before that feast? That sounds pretty good. What do you guys think?
I'm starving.
Yeah.
Siren goes up to you hearing this, bows very dramatically, and says, right this way, please.
Now.
We'll take some food for the road.
Of course, I will swing by the kitchens personally, Your Highness, as we depart for that very expedient mission, Your Highnesses. And then he ushers not Alfonso, because he knows better than to touch a royal, but he ushers the other ambassadors, you guys, out of the room.
Yeah, he really doesn't want us there.
I imagine like they go first and Alfonso's behind.
Yes.
Alfonso goes straight up to Gladys, knowing that there's tension that we're not going to deal with now. Whispers, if you harm my family, you're next. And then walks out.
Roll insight.
Okay, queen.
Actually, roll intimidation.
17 plus 17.
Okay, and then roll insight to see how, because you intimidated her, but I want you to see how.
11 plus 2, so 13.
Okay, so with that 13, you see that her whole body tensed, and so not only did she understand and accept that threat, but her eyes immediately cut to Francis, who you did not address. And her eyes travel back down, and she nods.
Francis. Francis was the...
Francis was of the Glen.
Right, because he was the coordinating one, right?
No, Francis was he was the one
He's
who...
the weird one.
Yeah, he was the one who his head was constantly tilted to the side, and he walked a little bit strangely, and he never really looked at anybody. However, it was almost like he always had his ear up ready to listen for anything that was coming, and so people typically underestimate him. But yeah, so she kind of glanced over at Glenn, who had said nothing, and then she glanced back down to the ground.
Did I notice the...
You noticed with the...
Okay,
Yeah, with that.
The glance?
Mm-hmm.
Would it be suspicious if Alfonso like also went and talked to him real quick, or was it more of like, because it was more like on the brush, like on the way out, like meant to be quick? If Alfonso would have stopped and like would the scenario have been like prolonged?
If you were to like stop and talk to him, it would be noticeable. So if you wanted to deliver a message to him, it would have to be in a somewhat more coordinated fashion. Like you could do something to try to like sleight of hand a message to him or something. But it wouldn't need to be like you stop and talk to him. You know?
I think that I want to like glare at him and sort of make like a motion, like watch your back kind of a...
Roll a sleight of hand.
14 plus 4, so 18.
Yeah, he gets the message and he's the only one who sees it.
All right.
So very, very effective.
And then on my way out, I stop at the doorway. I take a really deep bow and then say, thank you. I will see you all shortly. And then I leave, following my friends.
Yes, your mother calls, of course, darling, until next time. And then and as she does that, she looks down and you kind of hear from out of the corner, like just, thank God the birds were getting ridiculous. So Siren leads you guys all together once again.
The band is back together.
Yes, out of the
Alfonso, we missed
so
you.
Good to have you back, man. You really got that guy back there. Holy cow!
Wow, something's different about you.
Siren spins and snaps, and he's like, not here.
Oh, right.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, we'll wait till
And he looks around and you start to see that like there are some servants kind of listening in, and there's like a couple of guards who are really interested to see what you're saying. And he turns to one of the walls and he pushes on it and it snaps out. And you see like it's a false panel, and he ushers you guys in and says, in here quickly. And you guys go in, I'm assuming?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, so he leads you through like a couple of winding like back hallways, like through some of the scullery maid entrances and things like that until you are outside of the castle. It takes about 5 minutes. Once you get out there and you're like in a small courtyard that's a little bit more secluded, he whips around and he says, he points kind of aggressively at Alfonso. He says, first of all, you didn't even really say hi to me, and I'm not okay with that, by the way. And then he gives you like a giant hug, and he says, Fabio's an asshole, and you should have come back sooner.
Alfonzo, like, he's not the touchy-feely type, but he 100% like embraces him and like full, and he's like, God, I missed you so much. I was glad to see you.
I
And
kind of
wish
thought you
would've-
were dead, you dick.
Yeah, well, sometimes that happens.
Not okay, man.
Yeah, we're doing our best out here.
Now,
Come on, we were put in a difficult situation. This is the best we have right now.
You know what? Whatever. Look, you took Fabio's hair. Do you have that, by the way? Because I would really love to put it above my mantelpiece.
Sure, I've got it. I give him part of it. I want to keep part of it too, but I
Do you
split
like
it in
cut the
half.
braid in half? Or
Yeah.
do you, yeah, okay.
Yeah, like we split it, and I kind of like, are we good now?
He grabs it and he's just like, you better wear this as a friendship bracelet because I am, and this is bros, man.
Oh,
And he
Misphi
puts
can
it around
maybe-
his bracelet, or he puts it around his wrist, and he kind of like ties the little ends of Fabio's hair to his bracelet wrist. And he's like,
That looks really
nice.
good, man.
Thank you.
Can-
Thanks.
I look at Misphi and I'm like, I give her a part of it, and I was like, can you do something like cool with this, like you do with like, I know it's not a finger, but like, can you do something cool with this for me?
You bet I can. And she takes it.
Sweet.
Awesome. And so as you guys are doing this, he kind of looks around and realizes, okay, this is finally in a spot where you guys are a little bit more private. And he says, all right, now, as good as it is to see you back, and man, it's, you guys are interesting.
Thank you.
They're good folks.
Yeah. Your people here said that you guys were you're looking for people. You're looking for these adventurer folks or something. That's why you're kind of like up in
The 4.
the 4. They're naming a lot of numbers. They're putting a lot of limbs above their head. I don't really get it. So can
It's
you
okay.
translate, please? I don't know what's going on, but they talked about a high elf named Aerith.
Yeah, so that's one of the 4. So the 4 are these heroes that have gone missing that we need to find.
Right. I know a high elf who's kind of been. Now, look, just because you're the heir to the throne now doesn't mean you get to rat me out. I am still your cousin. You got it?
Bros till death.
Right.
Ugh,
Friendship bracelets.
what they say,
a thing,
famously.
right?
Mhm.
So he says, look, there's a guy who's in the garden district, okay? And he is a high elf. He's been kind of hiding out here a long time. He's done things to disguise himself, to look more like a wood elf, but he's kind of flying under the radar. Him and a couple of other less confident in their wood elf friendliness are kind of hiding out in there. But if I take you to them, because if that's who you're here to actually see, then you got to promise, like, you take care of them and their secrets.
Will do. You have my word.
He looks at you and he says, you swear on their lives and on mine?
Absolutely.
All right. And so he says, we're going to have to wait until nightfall. So hope you guys bundle up because we're sticking around here for a hot second. You might want to get some rest or put on shoes. And
Well,
he
we could get
eyeballs
that.
like Stan and Misphi, like literally like there's, something, anything on your feet. Like they're weird. Okay, it's weird to have your toes.
Well, I've got bad news for you, fella. I don't have shoes, but if you want, I could cover them up with some grass or something.
You know what? Actually, no, you're fine.
Great. I was
please
hoping
don't
you'd say
taint
that.
our grass.
Well, I lost my shoes back in the entrance there, so I'm kind of liking my bare feet.
And I've never had shoes in the first place.
Toes.
You have bare feet? That's weird.
Rawr.
Always a funny one.
druid.
Yes.
And he kind of eyeballs you, and he's going to roll an insight on you. But he doesn't get very good. And he's like, weird, cool. I don't know a lot of druids around here. That's pretty neat. All right.
Me neither.
So is there anything that you guys do? It's going to be based on the time frame. It's going to be about 2 hours before you guys are going to be able to depart based on the time of day to be able to do it under the cover of darkness.
What about that feast?
Oh, that's right. Why don't you guys hang out here? Just please don't leave. I'm going to go grab some supplies from the kitchen. Is there anything else that you guys are going to need replacements of or anything that I can steal from, not steal, borrow from your Highness's castle home?
If you could, my gold supply has dipped a little. If you could replenish that for me and maybe a couple of health potions, things that adventurers might need. If you want to grab those for us, we would appreciate it.
And if there's anything to drink up there, I haven't had an ale in quite a long time.
Meryl, you speak to me.
I know.
Good God.
I was
you're
talking to him, actually,
spoiled.
but-
Ugh.
I just want some
Frickin' royals.
water
Yeah, I can do that. That's easy.
and some blueberries.
Do you have any river
Seriously.
rocks?
River, no. I'll
Send
see
one
what
of
I
those
can
Any
do.
rocks will do. Even noble ones.
Look, you don't understand. I can't send one of the servants. They're not allowed to know where you're at. Like, do you realize I don't know where everybody's loyalty lies, but everybody's got loyalties. And you haven't been around long enough for them to be to you.
That's fair.
Yeah, and there's that 5G going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Can't
guys
trust
should
it.
probably fill him in on that while I go get this. And so with that, he goes inside, and he's disappeared for a hot minute.
So guys, how have things been? I feel like it's been a little while.
God,
since
we've
I've
missed
seen
a lot, I think.
Yeah, no kidding.
I battled an octopus with pants.
You did what?
Yeah, and it was really scary. And also, I talked to my dad, and I told him I didn't need him anymore, and he wasn't my bro, and I had other bros, and I was really, really scared without you, and I'm really sorry.
TJ, it's so nice to see you.
Thank you.
Oh, Jinx.
Aw.
Tej really went through it while you were gone, Fonz. He's had a tough go of it.
Really?
I had to urge the search, and I did it. I searched so hard, and it was really successful, but then I had to do all of these scary things that I didn't want to do, and I floated, and then I fell into the water a lot. There was so much water, and I don't really like water. No offense, baby. I love you so much, but I didn't want to drink the water.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, Teach. Let it out. Just let it out. There.
Incredible.
He pats him on the back.
Although I've got to say, it sounds like things are taking a turn for the worse around here. Fonz, what all
Yeah.
do you know?
Well, that wasn't the plan, if I'm being honest. The plan was to, well, actually, I didn't even choose to be transported here.
Yeah, how did that
Yeah,
happen?
they took you.
Yeah, the last time that it was when we beat when we killed the mayor. And then apparently I got transported here. And then where'd you guys go? Like,
We went to some tower.
Yeah, we ended up in a tower with a very large, very kind man with shiny balls.
Jilroy.
shiny what?
Shiny balls that we got to look
Shiny
at.
balls?
Yeah,
Yeah.
It was like a globe where he could see everything.
Oh, like glow balls.
Globe balls.
Sure.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes, Jilroy and his glow balls.
Oh, nice. I hope to
And
meet you.
we all
at
had to
some point.
face some pretty difficult stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's
We
been
had
it's been a
stands.
really hard.
Trials.
Man,
it's
we've
been
had a rough
hard-
go of it recently.
Yeah, it's been a hard time. But it sounds like things here are really are not good, Fonz. It sounds like they're trying to take over.
Yeah.
Have you heard of the 4Gs?
Nope. I don't know. What's the G's? Like the
They're
districts?
The factions, yeah. Or
Well, they're
whatever.
trying to add another one.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, there's only 4, and then there's the like our castle. Like
Well,
the,
now there's gonna be 5.
The
That's what Siren told us.
Oh,
That's what the guy told us. Cirrus Circus, whatever.
Siren.
Yeah, him.
He's my cousin. He's a good guy.
Sure. He talked a lot about the Grand and how there's like a whole network of people who want to see the 4G to 5G changeover or something.
Sounds like a conspiracy.
I don't know, man.
Amen.
He's your cousin. I just wear the pants over here.
Okay. All right. Well,
And Meryl walks up to you and looks pretty serious for a second, puts his hand on your shoulder, and he's like, and after everything we just went through, Alfonso, I need you to understand that family's important.
family is extremely important.
Family's important, even though you have your differences, you know.
Amen to that.
We all had to remember some pretty painful things. And well, we're here for you, whatever you need to keep your family safe.
I appreciate it, you guys, and I appreciate you guys coming to rescue me here. This was nice to get some help. So
Well, that's what
think you really
that's what
needed
friends
our
are
help.
for. But yeah, it looks like we just
It
kind of
was
stood there and clapped.
moral support. I mean, you guys, you were there ready for it. I didn't expect it to go the way that we did, but it worked out mostly.
So Siren comes back. He's laden with a couple of bags. He starts dishing out like different foods and stuff for you to put in your bags. He does grab a pair of shoes for Misphi that's kind of like roughly her size and they're elven quality, so they're nice and lightweight. And he says, look like no pressure or anything, but that way you have them, I guess. And he looked at Stan and he's like, I'm sorry, but I really didn't bother. You seemed like really not
That's good. My feet feel real constricted in shoes. I probably wouldn't have worn them anyway, but I appreciate the thought.
probably a good call. And he takes a pouch of freshly minted gold and hands it to you, Alfonso. He hands each of you a greater health potion. So you can add that to your inventory.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, just don't tell any people where you got it, okay?
My lips are sealed.
And then he gives you, he kind of pours like a flagon of wine. And he said, look, I couldn't find any ale in short notice, but here's like some of the elven wine. So I
Hooray!
didn't even
And
bring
Meryl
any
just tips it
cups, So
back.
if you just want it, just pour it down Go
Your
for
goal?
Right out of the bottle.
it. Yeah. And then water, he pulls out like kind of like a small flask and he said, also, no rocks, but here's some water. You can just
Thank
have
you.
that. So you guys kind of start packing up your bags. And is there anything that you guys want to do before you head out over to the garden district?
Well, do we need any? Are you guys all set on weapons, armor? Is there anything we want to go? I mean, we could try to be good there. I mean, we are in, one of the most powerful kingdoms of, Loreland. So if there's anything we want. And I am the heir, so I can pull some strings if needed.
We could use some horses.
Oh, that would be
Oh,
good.
yeah. Preferably one that like maybe I can share with Stan or something. I can hold him like a baby. Do you guys ride? You guys ride horses here, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Cool. And he looks over at Sarah and he says, "Do you have like a baby Bjorn or something? Like maybe a pouch that I could put Stan into, so that way it's a little bit more comfortable for him, or maybe just like a nice nest pillow." What'd you like,
Or
Stan?
just get him in his own little pony.
Stan, do you
Do you
want
guys
your own
have
little
ponies?
pony?
Well, I do prefer to hang on to you, Teej, but if there's no baby Bjorn, I get it.
He looks at Siren and he
So
says,
understanding.
"Can you please find a baby Bjorn?" And Siren looks so confused, but he's like, "So you just want to strap the little man to your chest or something while you ride?" And he says, "Absolutely. That's how we roll. Stan's my best friend. He rides everywhere with me. Cersei's on her shoulder, Stan's on my front." And Siren nods and he just he goes in really quickly and comes back out with like a very long, elaborately made scarf and is like, we're really good at knots here. So just, I guess, when we find a horse, we'll put you on the horse and we'll just kind of wrap it, strap it, knot it, call it good.
Great.
Baby Bjorn it, whatever. Does that sound solid?
That's perfect.
That sounded like a Hannah Montana song.
Wrap it, strap it.
That does sound like
Baby
a
Bjorn
Hannah.
it.
Rocket, polka, dot, country, that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
hear.
I was thinking like bop it,
Yeah.
twist
Oh
it,
man, I freaking loved that thing. when I was a kid.
Bjorn it.
Loved to bop it.
pull
So
it.
we are gonna see that you guys the night has fallen a bit, so it's a little bit more dusky, and Siren's able to guide you guys out of the main area of the castle district and off to a couple of side paths. So there are some really well-traveled roads that you can see toward the garden district. And when I say well-traveled roads, these are again like pathways for people walking that are made with like that really nice, soft, mossy kind of vibe. But instead, he takes kind of like the road less traveled that has almost looks like little paths for some of the animals that live in the woods. And he kind of starts to take you guys through these with a little bit more brambles, and some of you guys are getting a little bit like kind of torn from the paths and such. But as he takes you through, trying to map myself here. He takes you guys through a couple of these winding areas away from any hustle and bustle. So you don't really see the garden district in all of its glory the way that you would if you were going through some of these main areas. But instead you see like, you can kind of tell some of the grandeur of it as like you guys kind of butt up against the backsides of some of these like rose gardens, some of these like dark moonlit gardens. Like there are a lot of like moonflowers kind of like open up collectively as the moon touches them, and it's very magical. There's just songs from nature pouring all around you. There's like a couple of flowers that you kind of see off in the distance that as the moon touches them, they erupt and like a puff of powder comes out of them, and it kind of like bathes the area in like a glow. But Siren pulls you away from all of that and instead pulls you deeper and deeper into the forest until you find a little clearing that looks almost very like somebody had tried to make a unique style garden, like a wildflower garden that didn't fit the mold of the tailored gardens of the garden district. And that garden had failed, and so they abandoned it and let the woods grow around it. But there is still the remnants of this wildflower garden because they're wild, so they were able to survive without the constant maintenance. And in here you see like a small little lean-to that's a little bit disguised from moss from the trees. And you see just like a couple of like little dips and rocks and such. And as you guys kind of step, which, being the ranger and such, you're able to kind of step pretty lightly, and so is Siren because he's used to being here. But are you guys trying to sneak through these woods, or are you guys just kind of rolling in?
I'm stepping lightly.
Yeah, I would say we're probably trying to be sneakish.
Okay, so I'm gonna have everybody roll
Stealthful.
a stealth check.
Nat 20.
Of course.
I got a 1.
Oh no!
21.
Got a okay. So TJ got a 12 because he's got a disadvantage on. Oh wait, he's got disadvantage on stealth. So yeah, so he's got an 11 actually. And so, but Misphi, as she's walking through, why would you say that you fail so horribly at being quiet?
I am just in awe of everything around me. Like, this is the most beautiful place I've ever seen.
She
And
walks
so
straight
I
to a
kind of
tree.
trip over a rock.
Okay. So you trip over a rock, and as you trip, you land on something very, very squishy and a little bit almost slimy.
Ew.
And it's kind of like I don't know, it's almost like a rubbery ooze kind of thing is what you land on. And as you land face down on it, it kind of stiffens. And you see kind of like looking up at you, it's like,
Oh my God. Guys, help me.
and you shuffle back. And Siren's like, hey. And no. It's fine. It's fine. He's with us.
Huh?
He?
Well, we're pretty sure it's a he. Okay.
Same.
Honestly, does it really matter?
Did I hurt him?
It kind of bounces a couple times, like almost like there was, like how the water bounces in Jurassic Park whenever things, like whenever the
Yes.
not the dragons, the dinosaurs come. It's like blum, 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 and then it bubbles up and it kind of forms like a blob. And as it forms this blob, you can see it's like a reddish hue, and it's kind of gelatinous. You can almost see through it. You can see kind of like dark shapes behind it. And it kind of just bounces, and it has its head kind of like the top of the blob kind of tilted to the side, and its eyes are really wide, and you can see that like there's like a fold in the goo that kind of makes like a smile, and it bounces like everything's okay.
Oh my God, it's kind of cute.
Yeah, we call him Meeby because he's kind of like an amoeba. We just call him Meeby.
Maybe.
And as you guys call him Meeby, his red kind of like blushes a little bit pink, and it's just like Meeby.
Oh, look at that little guy.
Misphi kind of pets him a little bit.
And it just like shakes a little bit like a cat purring, like. And
I feel like since I got a nat 1, like there would be like goo stuck on my nose or something, and then I can't smell for like 10 minutes or something.
Yeah, well, there's definitely goo in your nose, but he takes like a kind of part of his blob and just kind of pats at your face and sucks it all back into him.
Oh.
Except for the bits in your nose because he doesn't want to be invasive. And he just like
What a respectful blob.
pulls it back in and he goes, Meeby.
Oh,
Wow.
What a guy.
Weird.
sorry about the
guy.
boogers, maybe.
It just kind of purrs a little bit, and then looking up at Meryl, being so tall, he like slinks underneath a rock and goes, and he slinks underneath like a rock and just kind of hides, and you just see like two little eyes kind of poking out from underneath the rock, and he's just like, maybe.
Meryl, you scared him.
Uh-oh. Meryl stoops down and is like, no, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Do you need to sniff my hand?
Roll animal handling.
Puts out hand for sniffage. Jesus, I got a nat 1.
Oh, no.
As you lean down and you put your big beak in near him, he's like, maybe. and he just like burrows deeper into the earth, and there's just like twigs and dirt and everything else getting sucked into
sorry.
his goo.
I'm sorry. Oh, God.
And he like kind of burrows until he like pops up on the other side. And when he pops up, he's red and he's like really dark red, but he's also got like clumps of rock and dirt like kind of in his like gooby body.
Gooby body.
And is like, and twigs kind of sticking out of him at odd angles. And he's just like, maybe.
He's like,
I'm so sorry.
And hearing this commotion up behind you, you hear nothing until you feel a bleed against your throat and you hear, "Now we don't frighten maybe, do we, sir?" And he puts a little bit of pressure on your neck.
Whose neck?
On Meryl's.
So
Guys,
Alfonso is so I rolled a nat 20 for stealth, so like no one can see me, I imagine. Earlier. What's the likelihood that I see like him like come out of the shadows and like
Roll perception.
okay.
Can I roll for?
21.
No,
Dirty.
you don't see it.
Okay. Once he does grab one, like he then like makes himself known. Okay. Since I'm hidden, I kind of come up behind like this person, and I try to get a good read on like what, like after he's like got his blade to Meryl.
So what are you trying to get from him?
I want to know like who, like if I recognize this person, since this is my hometown.
Okay.
Yeah, like is he hooded?
He is not hooded, but he is very stealthy. So he's found every pocket of darkness that is in this area, every shadow that's cast, he has blended seamlessly into it. And so with that, like as you kind of try to catch a profile, he manages to sway ever so slightly, just so you can't really catch his features, unless he decides that like he wants you to.
Misphi, can Misphi see him? Or notice him?
Like, do we know that like he's got his blade to?
At
like,
this,
Meryl?
like you can kind of clock it if you're close to Meryl, but basically Meryl hasn't said anything, and this person has only said something loud enough for Meryl to hear.
Okay, so we really don't know then.
You really wouldn't know unless Meryl says something.
guys,
Meryl?
Yeah.
Meryl, what's going on?
What?
Hey.
help.
Hey, as this bird's bodyguard, I command you to put that knife down.
This is not
Unhand Meryl.
necessary.
Stan,
We're
guard
here.
me.
Wait.
We mean no harm.
Wait, are you? Are you Aerith?
He freezes and he ducks down really, really quickly and then scuttles into the shadows.
Hey.
Wait, come
And he
back.
says, "Now, who might you be, little half elf?"
I'm Misphi. Misphi Faewilde. I'm a druid.
Interesting. And then you hear kind of like a little, and you see like all of a sudden across the glade, he kind of pops up and he says, "Now who is trying to frighten me be?"
We're not
frightening
It was
intended.
just-
No frightening intended. We just didn't realize he was there.
Meryl just has a big beak and,
Big old
sometimes
beak. Yeah,
it's
big
just
mouth, big beak.
Intimidating.
I hear it often. I'm so sorry. No offense was intended.
He looks over at Siren. "Siren, why are you here and why did you bring people? You know I don't like people. I don't get along with people." And Siren says, "Okay, yeah, we get it. You're a very scary rogue. We're terrified. I get it. All right. Can we cut this, please, dude? Like, it's been a long day. Hey, Fabio's out of the picture. That's pretty cool. My cousin here, he cut off his hair. I got a bracelet. Look." And you hear like, and then all of a sudden, right in front of Siren, you see this guy pop up and he says, "Sweet."
Oh, I like you.
And he looks at you and he says, "Can I get one? Fabio was a douche."
Sure. So I pull out my my short sword and the half lock of hair from Fabio, and I cut a little bit off and I hand it to him. And
Oh, he's a popular guy giving out all these friendship bracelets this
would
episode.
you like me to tie it on your arm for you, or would you want to do it?
I'll do it. And then he looks over at Siren and he says, "Is he flirting with me? I can't tell."
No, just friendly.
Wonderful. And he takes it and he ties it on and he kind of fastens it a little bit and he sniffs it. Fresh. Lovely. Now,
I like this guy.
why are you here?
Fresh.
Well, are you Aerith Moore?
I'm someone. Why do you want to know? Who are you looking for? What are you here for?
We're looking for you.
Why?
We are on a quest to find the four.
Okay, well, I am not four, I am one. Do you see four? I am not four, I am one.
You're one of the four.
I am one of one. Why are you here? What are you here for? I am who I am at the moment.
I said my name. Now it's your turn.
Damn it, she's right.
Good job, Misphi. That one really got.
Way to use logic.
That was good.
I call myself Aerith Moore. That's what others called me before. That wasn't intended to
Wow.
rhyme, but I'm not really good at talking to
Meryl
people
bows
anymore.
right away and says, "It is an honor to meet you."
Stop bowing. Why are you bowing? Why
Sorry.
is he bowing?
Misphi
He looks
bows
at Siren
too.
and he says, what is going on
Sorry,
with this? This is
sorry,
weird.
we're
Is he
just-
flirting with me? I can't tell.
I could
No,
be.
we've just
I'm
heard
not.
you're very important.
I am important. I was important.
You're
Am
one
I
of the
important, Siren? I would be
legendary
important.
adventurers.
Important? You're not important any longer?
Well, would you be searching for me if I wasn't important before?
Yeah, but you made it sound like you're no longer important. Why would you?
Well, if
not-
you would have met me on the street now, would you actively seek me if you had no idea of my past? If you only knew my present, would I be important enough to merit a conversation?
Man, this
That's
guy
fair.
This
really
guy.
uses a lot of words.
I think I get it.
Yeah,
Thank you. Yes.
I like this guy already.
Is she flirting with me? I can't tell.
No. I'm TJ. And I point to him.
Hello, TJ. He's like, oh, hey, man, it's really good that you're not flirting with my girl because you're too tough for me to beat, but I would really try.
But I would try.
Okay.
That's my Tej.
Anyway,
Way to stand up for your beliefs.
yeah, gotta stand up for my lady. And he says,
Aw.
that's good. That's really good. I like you. And then TJ looks at him and he's like,
Are you
are
flirting
you
with
flirting with
me?
me? And Aerith says, no. Do you want me to be? I don't know how this works. And TJ says, no, but I appreciate it anyway. Anyway, my name's TJ. It also goes by Town Justice. TJ's just a nickname for my bros. You can be a bro if you like. However, if you are called Aerith more, then you can call me TJ. Do you have another name that you prefer, good sir? And Aerith says, I think Aerith is fine. I don't think I have any other names that I go by anymore. Unless you have a nickname that you want to give me. Does anybody have a nickname you want to give me?
Air.
Air. I don't think I like it.
We'll come up with one.
I can't tell.
Aramore.
Aramore.
That's you know what? That reminds me of someone.
Aramore.
Can't quite put my finger on it.
Really, with all that
I
punk
don't
rock
hate
you
it.
like, huh?
Yeah.
I don't hate it. And then you see him pop up against a glade, like he just completely disappeared from sight and then came up again over near Misphi. And you hear him say in a very different voice than what you heard him. He's like, Misphi, baby, come on, come on now, Misphi, come. And he looks over at you guys. You scared him. He was afraid. That's why. And then he says, Misphi, let's get just get the sticks out of you. Just get the sticks out.
Maybe
They're
he's
nice
flirting
people.
with him.
And he stands up and he listens and he hears you and he turns and he says, I would not flirt with Misphi. That would be rude. He is like a child. That would be creepy.
He's like a child.
He's like your Cersei.
What is a Cersei?
My bird.
He is not like a bird. He is an amoeba. And he ducks back down and says, Misphi, come on out. Go.
I love him.
We could really use some fan art of this Misphi.
Oh my god, I want Misphi fan art.
And so he
I
pulls.
want to crochet meebies.
Yeah. That's a great idea.
Misphi comes out and he's like red and dirty and he's got like hard eyes a little bit for Aerith, but you see like his eyes are really big and he's not sure about the situation. And so he like kind of slithers like slimes up to be right on top of Aerith's head. And then he like forms like a little hat and he plops. And like he kind of like covers a little bit of his ears, almost like one of those, what are the, like a Stormy Cromer hat, you know?
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
He and then Aerith kind of taps him twice, like, not the ears. And then Misphi kind of slinks up above the ears, so it kind of flips out, almost like like the hair of Cindy Lou Who, just like very much out, like, you know? And he says, this is Misphi. Misphi, I don't know who these people are. I only know who that one is. And he points at Misphi. That one is Misphi Faewilde. I don't know why they're here. other
Guys,
than to fight
introduce
Earthmore.
yourselves.
Oh, sorry. I'm Stan.
Stan.
You'll remember me because I'm the one with the weird feet. I understand if you think they're weird. However, they have won a contest in the past, just to be clear.
I have very little feet to compare them to of your size and stature.
Okay, well, great. Mine are number one then. That's
Fantastic.
what I like to hear. Meryl?
Meryl Cheep, I'm so sorry to scare your blob.
Maybe.
Misphi.
Thank you.
It's great to meet you both.
What is Misphi?
Maybe is an amoeba, but I'm not entirely sure. I think he is a plasmoid.
Oh.
And I'm Alfonzo Windbreaker.
I recognize you from your picture from graduation.
Oh,
Your hair looks better now.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Wow.
Amen. Glow up.
Yep.
I'm liking
Glow
this
up.
guy more and
Glow up,
more.
king.
And he looks at Siren and he says, "So why are they here?" I'm not really sure because I'm here, and you are sometimes here to bring me food, and I don't really need it because I live off of the forest, but now you have brought me people. I don't like people. No offense. I think that might be offensive. I'm not sure.
Well, that's a good thing he's not a cannibal.
A what?
You said you don't like people.
That's correct.
Okay.
Typically.
Good.
Yeah.
We don't want to be eaten.
Yeah.
Why would I eat you?
Well, you just never know these days. We've been through a lot of weird stuff.
Yeah, this has
lately.
been a weird
We
year.
have-
You just said that he brought you food, so and then you
I
said
didn't
I don't like
eat
people.
Cyril.
We've seen
Have you
people
been
start
eaten
to-
before, Cyril? Siren? I haven't eaten Siren. Has Siren been eaten before? Have you eaten Siren? I feel like that's rude.
We've just seen a lot of weird stuff. That's all.
Yeah.
It's been an adventure, man.
It's been a
Interesting.
strange year.
Right. Yes. So why I am Aerith Moore. You are who you are. Interesting. And this is Misphi. We have introduced ourselves. We have exchanged common pleasantries. Are we leaving now?
Well,
Are you coming with us?
We would
Why
like
would
to
I go with you? I don't know you.
We would like to track down the rest of your counterparts of the 4.
The rest of the 4.
Yes, we need you.
Yes,
The world needs you.
Why?
Why do we need them again?
we need to go after that scary being guy that.
Is he still in Bridgman?
Bridgmond. I remember Bridgmond.
Yeah,
I was there once. Twice.
Remember the mayor?
The mayor of Bridgmond.
he was.
Well, we think he might be possessed or something has
was.
taken
He was
his
a warlock.
shape.
we killed him.
Right. And when we killed him, something took his place, and whatever it was sent several of us to a tower with a strange man with shiny balls, and it's just really been traumatic, and I just really miss my family.
Oh.
Okay. So what I'm hearing is you went up against a mayor. What did this mayor look like?
He had a very tall hat.
Big
remember
hat.
Big
him.
fancy cloak.
He was
Yes.
pretty douchey too.
But then he turned into a demon, and it was quite frightening.
Dope.
After we killed him,
Of course.
Of course.
So, douchey mayor, tall hat. You killed him. Congratulations.
Thank
Very
you.
good. So then, after you killed him, somebody took his place as mayor.
Oh, no, as
no.
a demon.
It
As-
was like
No, they were
He was
still
like
in his
possessed.
body. Something was in his body, but it was
very,
not
like,
him.
godlike or demonic like.
Godlike
Like
or
a
demonic, like
presence.
being wore his body.
yeah.
And TJ's like, that's what I said. He was wearing my uncle. And he says, who's your uncle? And he's like, the mayor. I'm sorry for your loss. I imagine that your mayor uncle has died. And he's like, no, it's fine. I helped kill him. Oh, congratulations. Thanks, man. Right.
He's so happy about it.
So then all the while this is happening, Siren is just like putting his head in his hands. He's just so lost in this whole conversation because you guys didn't tell him any of this.
Right, yeah.
We're just like, we gotta talk to him.
Yeah. And he's just like, I don't really get this, but yeah, keep going, I guess. And so you see that Aerith is like, interesting. A god from another place or a demon warrior, the uncle who is a mayor who wore the tall hat and then transported you to the tower, correct?
Right.
Yeah, that was
Right.
pretty much it. You're a good listener.
Yes, I'm very good. I appreciate you noticing. Some people don't seem to acknowledge that about me.
Are you flirting with me?
Why would I flirt with you?
Hmm.
Anyway, so
That was so good. They also made some great eye contact for like 5 seconds there.
Yeah.
he
You're
did
just like,
not blink. So as you guys nod along and he's like, you went to the place with the shiny balls. I've been there. I've been to the tower. You are not in the tower anymore. I take it you got out.
We passed the trials, yes.
We did.
Congratulations.
With the help of Jilroy.
Jilroy. I don't know Jilroy.
You
He's a
do.
Goliath.
The man with the shiny balls.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Shiny Balls Man.
I never met the shiny balls man. This was a different guy. His name was
Oh.
not Jilroy. His name was Smith or something. No.
Oh.
No.
John Smith.
I don't remember his name.
John
Names aren't really
Smith.
that important. I don't
His name was
remember
John
your name.
Smith, canonically. Canonically.
Actually, no, I remember. McGraw. His name was Tim McGraw.
Tim McGraw!
We did say before that Tim McGraw was canon, so it has to be there. His name was Tim McGraw. He had shiny balls. He didn't like to talk about him. He didn't like to touch him. He didn't even like to keep him shiny, but he did like to watch him sometimes,
Well, that's better than nothing.
I guess. So, yes, I
so
went
where are your
to
friends
this-
at?
I don't have friends. What are you talking about?
Okay, the 3 of the 4. So
Oh, yes.
you're one of 4. There are 3 others to make 4. Where
Right,
are they at?
yes. Well, they are scattered a little bit. I mean, I know where some kind of are. Why are you interested? What do you...
Remember the demon who was wearing the mayor?
Demon wearing mayor, yes.
We need to kill him or whatever because he's a problem, and we need the 4 to help us do that.
Wait a minute. Yes, that guy. Phil. Phil. We defeated Phil once.
His name is Phil?
Phil.
That's not very intimidating.
Pretty sure that's his name. Phil. Yeah, Phil. And he looks at Siren and he's like, it was Phil, right? And Siren's like, I have no clue what you're talking about. He's like, of course. His name was Phil. I'm almost certain. However, I had other people in the adventuring party who were with me, and we defeated him together. And then we decided to go our separate ways because there were some people who were homesick. So we decided that we were going to go our separate ways. But you were asking about the other members of the 4, and this is what I can tell you. We had myself, Aerith Mora. I'm a high elf. I'm a rogue. I use a lot of swords and knives and sharp things. And also I dip into the shadows sometimes because it's a lot of fun
We've
to scare
noticed.
people.
Yeah.
And then as he says it's a lot of fun to scare people, Meeby is up on his head and he goes, squish, squish, squish. And he says, that's right, Meeby. I like to scare people. Are you scary, Meeby? Are you scary, Meeby? Anyway. We also had Lily. Lily was a gnome. She was a cleric. She liked to worship some stuff. I don't really know what. I didn't really get it, but it didn't matter because she was powerful and she also liked to heal us. She also liked the smell of tuna. And she was very funny. I don't know if that's important. I don't know what's important. She did wear shoes, though. I'm sorry, Smallman.
That's okay.
We also had Bart. Bart Smith. Are you aware, Bart?
Yes.
Bart. He was a human.
Yep.
A lot of people didn't know what his class was. I don't know either. He just carried around a book a lot, and then he put his hand in his pocket sometimes. That was Bart. Bart was really great. Bart knew when to leave me alone. Bart had a lot of opinions about a lot of things, and I didn't really always understand it, but he was really great.
Could you slow down a little bit?
No.
Trying to write note over there.
Misphi's over there in the corner, like, scribbling furiously.
On her hand.
And you're like, can you slow down a bit? And he's just like, am I going too fast for you? Are you flirting with me?
Ah!
I wouldn't know.
Good Bart, good guy.
Correct.
Likes to draw.
Sometimes. I don't know if he enjoyed it. All I know is that he did it.
What's his favorite flower?
I didn't ask him. I'm not sure. Are we supposed to have favorite flowers? I'm
No,
not sure.
no,
how the
no.
people-
It's just something I ask. It's okay. Carry on.
Okay, in the future, I would prefer it if you didn't ask questions because I'm not sure how to answer all of them. I don't like feeling unsure.
Same here. I can agree.
Wonderful. And then we had Farman. Farman looked like you. And then he turned to Meryl and he says, you know, different feathers.
But just as muscular, right? And then I flex
No.
with a big smile.
Wasn't he more muscular?
Yes.
It's
No
okay.
offense, Meryl.
Meryl, take it in stride. It's okay.
Striding.
He's a barbarian.
Striding.
He did a lot of flexing, though.
Yeah, well, I'm,
He did a lot of arm days. Have you tried arm days? Have you done push-ups? He used to be really into push-ups. I didn't understand it. He would just stare at the ground and go down and up and down and up and down and up.
Meryl is doing deep breaths as he also starts doing push-ups.
He like jumps down. He's like, ah.
Arm day, arm day, arm day, arm day.
That looks eerily similar, especially with the deep breaths. Carmen used to do a lot of deep breaths around me for some
All
reason.
right, I think I'm on the right track, you guys.
Yes. Anyway, he went, so he's no longer here.
What do
you
he
mean?
went? Like he died?
He went where?
Well, Farman, no, he went back to the air elemental plane.
He went back?
What?
Yes,
How did he get back?
I don't know. I am not him. I did not go to the air elemental plane ever with him. However, all I know is that he had a longing for home, and he said that he was homesick and did not want to be here. He wanted to be with his family.
And he found them.
He found his family. I assume. I never went to the air elemental plane, but he decided to go there because he said that as much as he enjoyed adventuring with us, he said that he did miss home. I don't have home, so I'm here.
Oh.
But that's okay.
I think I understand how he felt.
You also like the air elemental plane.
Well, I've never been, but that's where I'm from, and I've never met anyone like me. And, I make friends pretty easily, and these guys are really like my family right now, but it would be nice to meet someone else like me.
Yes. Well, I have only heard of one other Arakakra, and he was part of a traveling circus.
What was his name?
I don't know. Names don't matter to me very much.
Oh, well,
Oh, Meryl. Sounds a lot like you.
yeah.
Are you sure it wasn't him?
Could have been me. Meryl Cheep. He flashes a huge, toothy smile with his beak.
He looks
Just
at you and
strange.
he says, I don't think it would be you because you are here and you are not at a circus. The other person was at a circus.
Well,
He
that's where I
traveled.
came from.
You came from a circus to here.
Yes.
This is decidedly less populous than a circus.
Yes, I do miss the circus,
Yes. I would
especially these
imagine.
days.
Anywho, I have Meephi, and we are together. However, Meephi he looks up on his head, struggling sometimes. And he immediately kicks over to, isn't that right, Meephi? Are you struggling sometimes? Are you struggling sometimes? Let's get some of those dirt chunks out of you. And he takes his hand and he kind of like squishes it into Meephi and grabs the chunks and kind of slurps it out and throws it on the ground. There you go, Meephi. Who's got you? Who's got you? Just Aerith's got you. Yes. Wonderful. And as you guys kind of look at each other for a moment, all of a sudden, from kind of just like a small little snap from somewhere in the distance, Aerith immediately freezes, goes completely tense, grabs Meephi from his head, lifts him off, and throws him at Meryl and says, Meephi, stay safe. And then he disappears into the shadows. And just as he disappears into the shadows, you see all around you arrows aimed at your faces as people from the Garden District come closer and closer, and you hear, freeze, in the name of the Garden District. You're in an unsupervised area. And that is where we will end today's episode.
Whoa.
Episode, everybody. I hope you guys had a wonderful time as much as we had in making it. So, a couple end of the episode plugs. Buy my book. If you guys like the adventuring and the parties and all that stuff, definitely pick up The Archivist Apprentice, available on Amazon. If you want to hear some really awesome music for your D&D, tunes for your D&D session, definitely check out Husband Matt's album in the link below. It has some of the same music that's playing in the background right now. It's very, very worldly and wonderful. And then, Kailyn, can you hit us with our social media plugs?
Yes, you can find us on Instagram and TikTok at Mystical Everyday Heroes for some bonus content and episode teasers and reminders of when all of our new fun stuff will be coming out. So check us out, give us a follow over there.
Now, guys, listen, at the circus, sometimes we do puppet shows, right? I know. Have you ever tried?
Please do not do puppet shows. You guys, come on.
Okay, we won't.
We're in court.
We won't. What's that over there? Look, if you can make a butterfly with your hands, try it. Oh, it's magic.
I bet he's
or a
in
rabbit.
puppet show like this.
You could try a rabbit.
That doesn't look like a rabbit. Meryl's good.
I could be a quiet coyote.
What's a coyote?
You know what a coyote is. Look, just like this. You ever seen one?
It's pretty quiet.
I'm so sorry, Your Highness. Forgive the people. And
Try
yes,
this one. Do you think this looks like an armadillo?
No, a man with no teeth.
That's a baby shark.